Looking forward to 2012, are there any Republican politicians on your radar that might be able to, deliver the kind of change that Republicans can believe in?
Well, it's unfortunate, in my opinion, that Sarah Palin had the, kind of stigma that she did during the 2008 election because, there's a really great documentary out there called Media Malpractice, and if you watch it, they show some really interesting facts and figures about the 2008 election and like what went on as far as how the media approached that election. And I think she would be a really good candidate based on, her actual intellect if you read or listen to what she really says in whole and not in a chopped interview. And I think that she really could bring some conservative values, but also have maybe some social moderate policies that could really be a little more, acceptable for Democrats and Republicans alike.
Right.
But I don't know now that she'll be able to gain the head that she needs to.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying that Sarah Palin is very polarizing, but you seem to think that she's not. She might be able to bring people together.
Well, I think she's the typical American woman. But then again, she's got a lot of strength to her too. Not saying that American women don't have strength. What I mean is, she can hold her own in a debate very well. And she also, her family has had issues just like every American family has had. But she's identifiable. And when you think about it, women are 50% of the vote. So,
right. Sarah Palin. So, obviously, even though she stepped down as governor, she's managed to stay in the spotlight. Now she's a Fox News contributor. She seems to be, when she was on her book tour, she got a pretty big reaction. So there are a lot of people that love this woman. So do you think it would be smart for the Republicans to, try to make a spot at the table for Sarah Palin to be involved in the leadership of the party?
I'm inclined to say no. I think Palin seems like kind of the quintessential 21st century politician in that she's more of a performer than a politician. The book tour being a good example, even the speeches she gives, like when she's got a rehearsed speech that she's been given and had a chance to go over, she's great. When she has to think on her feet, though, she struggles. This is why you hear a lot of left-wing critics, I think, to a point reasonably saying that she's just takes Republican talking points and repeats them. I saw John Cleese, a British comedian, call her a parrot because he said it's like a parrot. You can teach it certain things to say, and it can say them very well and convincingly. But if you ask it, well, say that in a way that you haven't been taught, the parrot can't do it. That might be a little harsh, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fairly, given especially the Katie Couric interviews where she couldn't even name a magazine that she was reading regularly, doesn't seem to be too far from the truth.
So, you can respond.
Okay. Well, not saying I want to stay a little bit neutral here, but haven't people said the same thing about President Obama with, his teleprompter crutch, and that kind of thing? Would you agree?
That's fair. The difference is that Palin doesn't have a background with Harvard Law and the other credentials that Obama did as an intellectual before getting into politics.
The thing is, Palin was an elected official that was actually governing something, and in my opinion, that's more important than being a lawmaker. I want somebody to govern who has experience governing, which Obama did not have. He had never handled his own budget for a large population or a large area of land, dealt with, taxes and things like that from the standpoint of actually governing people. And I think that's one quality that we were missing in the candidates for 2008. So.
Healthcare is it's a big issue right now because they still haven't passed a bill. And so the Republicans in Congress, they don't like the healthcare bill that's been proposed. And so do, a lot of citizens. But the Democrats and Obama, he mentioned this last night. He said he'll accept good ideas from anyone, but the Republicans aren't really stepping up with anything. So do Republicans have a healthcare plan that could improve healthcare for Americans?
Well, the problem here is that healthcare is expensive. There's no way around that. We have the best healthcare in the world because we're so far advanced in our technology and our ability and the treatment that we can provide. But it is expensive, and so are the pharmaceuticals that people need. That's unavoidable. The problem is covering and being able to sustain coverage for everyone in America. And I believe that the best way to do that is private competition between insurers. With the government option, it would eventually encompass everyone because, the competition would be lost out to the government option insurance. So the problem is that the system now is not perfect for everyone, but it's worked for so long, and people are able to get the care they need eventually, and probably more quickly than if we were to have a nationalized healthcare system. If you look at the systems in Britain and Canada, people have to wait a long time and actually come to the United States in order to receive the healthcare they need if they can pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. So do you think that the healthcare bill that's proposed now, do you think that will lead to nationalized healthcare in the vein of, the British National Health Service?
From what I've read, it's been a while since I've read up on this specific bill, but it seems like Obama's long-term goal would be a single-payer system. And the thing that makes it so difficult to get any accurate, for every report of people waiting in lines coming to the U.S., you can find another report from another Canadian citizen or another Brit or another French citizen about how much they love their healthcare system. Even talking about the quality of ours, the World Health Organization ranked ours 37th. Now, maybe for the small percentage of our population wealthy enough to afford healthcare, it is the best in the world. But I don't think that can be your only concern in judging a healthcare system. Mm-hmm. As far as what we could do, I'd be interested to see if we would even consider looking into breaking the link between healthcare coming through the employer and trying to treat healthcare more like we do car insurance or something like that, where individuals can buy it. But I've also read some very persuasive arguments for single payer.